Hello everyone, welcome to CPhI Southeast Asia webinar. My name is Karuna Jintanom, Chief Editorial Officer of InnoLab magazine. I would like to share some information on the pandemic in Thailand before we go through our content. Tell you frankly, the situation is going be worse. Today we have 20,000 new patients approximately, and each patient needs 40 to 70 tablets of favipiravir throughout their treatment cycle, depending on their condition. As of the 4th of August, the demand for favipiravir has risen to 850,000 tablets per day, but only 20 million tablets has allocated by the Public Health Ministry since the 5th of July. Yeah, more patients need to be given favipiravir. That's why we are here and we'll talk about the APIs for COVID-19. Our speakers today, Dr. Nitipon Ken C. Mongkol Pitak from Biotech National Center for Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology. He and his team have successful in the development of active ingredients for favipiravir. And Dr. Osiri Sigun from GPO, the government pharmaceutical organization. She plays a vital role on the production part. And our moderator today, Dr. Vanvisa Thongkamnithoon, Innovation Manager in Health Tech from NSTDA, National Science and Technology Development Agency. Okay, welcome you all, ka. For the first questions, Dr. Kendall. Okay, Dr. Kendall and Kun Ansari, what is the difference or specific characteristic of anti-SARS-CoV-2 drug and other antiviral drugs?
So I believe that the way we perceive and we use the drug is quite different from what we experienced before. So for example, other antiviral drugs, we know well how to use them and how to manage and how to produce exactly. But for the anti-COVID-19, that's a different story. This is because of the clinical trials going on, the guideline is changing. So we need to stick on the research and the science to indicate which drug we use, and we've seen that happen for more than a year right now. And another point that I think needs to show the differences is that the guideline that the doctors provide, give the medication to patients, is not depend on the indication and efficacy, but it's also depend on availability of the drug in the market or in the country. That's very important part.
So that because you mean that because of it is new, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And what is the appropriate drug for COVID-19 today?
I think this is a guideline. Is so different for country from country. In Thailand, we clearly that's we rely on favipiravir, but the Western countries and USA, they have the cocktail antibodies and also remdesivir that's used for emergency uses of the drug. Yeah.
So do you think that favipiravir is appropriate for Thailand in this recent situation, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, and that is the reason that you pick favipiravir to develop the API in your labs, right?
As I mean that's back into the early of 2020s that we start to look at the drug. At that time, several drug has been proposed for use at the anti-COVID-19, hydroxychloroquine, azithromycin, anti-HIV, anti-favipiravir, and remdesivir. The reason why I choose this, I think there's quite several factors. First, I would say that we believe that the not nucleoside drug, the family of the drug, they have shown the as a good indicators that the have the clear target, and they show good efficacy in vitro and in vivo. That's the first reason. And the second reason is that the expertise in my lab, because we have been trained on working on the nucleoside drug and antiviral agents. So this kind of family that we are comfortable with for synthesis and design the synthetic route.
Okay. Would you please share with us about the key success factor in your research process for API of favipiravir?
The key factor for my research would be the I think first is the support for friends, colleagues, and GPO, and the people around us. That is our first success factors that we can start working during the pandemic. It's difficult to work at that time as well in the first wave. The second, the key success factor that we started quite early. The chemical supply in Thailand, and the raw material that you need to order before the time. So if we wait, to the mid of the 2020, it's so difficult to order the reagents, the chemicals, those kind of things. That I think that's another key success factors. And the last one is that I think it's GPO that played a vital roles on this as well. Maybe Dr. Onsili can provide some information.
Yeah, the GPO actually have collaboration with NASDA for many research projects, right? Back to like 15 years when we have the avian influenza, or at that time we collaborated with biotech to produce the oseltamivir phosphate, the medicine for the treatment of avian influenza, and even before that. And for this time, to cope the pandemic of COVID-19, we collaborated with biotech and PTT together, developed the synthetic process of favipiravir and other APIs for COVID-19 treatment. Yeah, and at this time, for biotech, Dr. Nitipon, he developed the synthetic process in the lab scale to get the process that scalable and efficient, and then send the protocol to GPO. GPO then adapt and optimize the process in the pre-pilot and then the pilot scale to get the process that suitable for industrial production, and also produce API that meet specification. Yeah, so that's what we collaborate.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Onsri. Okay, go back to Dr. Nitipon. Would you please give us a brief of the research process of the development, the API?
You mean in general?
Yeah, in general.
Right. I think we have to consider many things, but we have to start it with the literature survey. That's including the method how to make them, the FTO, and the patents, and also the raw material that we start to use. The way that we start. And after that, we looking for the not we look we did do the labs to see the which synthetic growth is the most promising one and suitable for the instrument and the pilot pen. Yes, that we need to look at.
Thank you.
And after that will be the pilot scale and industrial scale.
Right now, we are working on the pilot scale synthesis. Maybe done in maybe at the end of this year.
Dr. Ansari, would you please share about the production plan of the GPO on production of the favipiravir, please?
Okay, you mean for the tablet, right?
Yep, the tablets.
Yeah. Like for to secure the favipiravir stock in the country, GPO takes 3 actions. GPO takes 3 actions simultaneously. First, we import the finished product. Like for last month we import like 13 million tablets of favipiravir, and this month we will import like 43.1 million tablets of favipiravir. It's a 13 million and 43.1 million tablets, right? And second, we import the API to produce our finished product. And we begin producing this month, this August. And in October, we can produce at least 40 million tablets per month. And our capacity can be expanded to like 160 million tablets per month upon the need of the country. And third, as we know that we collaborate with biotech and PTT, to build the capability of favipiravir API production.
Can we conclude it into 2 steps? First step is import the API, right? And the second step is we will produce API ourselves.
First we import the finished product. And second, we import the API to produce finished product. And third, we build capability, of synthesizing our API.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the next questions will from Dr. Vanvisa. Dr. Vanvisa, please.
Can I ask Dr. Nitipun more about the research development for favipiravir in the lab? Because in Thailand, before COVID pandemic, there are not a lot of API that produced in the country. Is there any limitation or challenges in research team to overcome in this urgent situation?
For particularly favipiravir. So I think the challenges one is that there's not much available data to make the compounds, and even it has been reported as an antiviral, anti-influenza and used in Japan for long time, but the synthesis of them is not like the well studied at other antivirals that you can pick up easily on the patents, on the literatures, on even some manufacturer that have been developed so far. So the information is very limited, and that's why I think the obstacle is that we need to have the very good R&D team. So the R&D team will be, managed and looking as the possibility to make those molecules. But I think this is quite lucky that we had the expertise to help us. At biotech, we have the Dr. Shavani who has been, doing the API synthesis and trained by that, and also Dr. Onsili as well. And I think another challenge is that we have to work in parallel, in the labs and also the pilot and also the market. Everything is in parallel. So we need a strong team to help each other.
Yes, I understand that the cooperative of the team will be push the API production move forward. And I heard that you might have a problem of the import of the raw material and the about the machine, about the facility. Do you have any like challenge about this?
For me, in the lab scale,
Yes.
and the pilot scale, I think we have the standard equipment for that for the instrument and equipment. Be honest, my lab is very new, and I had to stop another work and come to work on this project. And because our lab just started, we don't have much instrument, but we can borrow some from even from other labs and from our partners that the private sector that happily to share equipment with us, and we just tell them that okay, we working on the favipiravir. We even get the the some instrument and some column for free, because they know that we're working on this, and that I think that's very appreciated. And maybe Dr. Onsili can share on the pilot scale and the industrial scale facilities.
Yes. Can I ask more about? Can I ask Dr. Ansari on from development from the R&D side to the production side and commercialization? What we need to do more add on from the R&D lab to the production scale?
Yeah, as I said that we have to adapt and optimize the biotic process, to be more suitable for the industrial equipment and industrial production. Like some technique that used in the lab just cannot be used in the production. It doesn't fit the equipment. Like like the column chromatography, we cannot be used. We have to use like crystallization. Yeah, and for favipiravir, they contain the process. They contain both like exothermic reaction and also contain the moisture sensitive reaction. It is really powerful when we work with exothermic reaction. You have to look at the process safety data, before like scaling up to the production.
Okay. Dr. Vanessa, would you please?
Sorry. Could I ask more about the readiness of Thailand in terms of infrastructure, standard, and market in commercialization API in Thailand?
Okay. So for favipiravir, we don't have patent, right? The chemical structure of favipiravir was patented in 1998, and now like there are no patent for the favipiravir API. So which means that we can manufacture and commercialize locally and globally. Yeah, but like for the chemical process, normally they're diverse, they're dangerous, and they're cause like the hazardous waste. So the problem of like handle this kind of thing, that we have to have person that have experience on this. And as you know that the most pharmaceutical industry in Thailand is the finished drug manufacturing. So the infrastructure of the country of the Thailand doesn't serve the API production. Yeah.
Mm.
So you mean that Thailand has capabilities to produce API, right?
We do have capability, but we do need some support, right?
Mm. Mm.
Like like the policy support, the price support, or the maybe like price policy, and then maybe infrastructure support. Yeah.
Mhm.
Is there any restriction of the international patent on the API or other organic compound for produce the favipiravir?
You mean like for the formulation or
Yeah, that's right.
for
That's right.
API? Yeah, for formulation, I think we Toyama, right? They used to like apply for the patent in Thailand, but now the Department of Intellectual Property, I think they rejected the patent application. So I'm not so sure if I can use the word rejected. Yeah, they rejected this application, but anyway, the Toyama, they still have a right to appeal. So yeah.
Okay. And do we have to do something with the license with that reject patent? No, we have to.
If the patent application was rejected, so that means that we can produce and
In Thailand,
commercialize. Yeah.
locally. Okay. Go back to the research from Dr. Nitipon. Do you have any patent about your formulations or the process or
Yes,
any?
we develop the process ourselves, so we apply the patent for that, and I think the way we make the molecules, there's several ways, and we can have the new technology to deal with it, and there's several technology that's very very useful for making favipiravir. For example, the continuous flow chemistry that helped the process quite a lot. I think the way we deal with this is like the technology R&D and research.
So it is a necessary part, right, to protect.
Well, I think it's kind of necessary to protect, but anyway, we know that favipiravir is a life-saving drug. It's all depend on the policy, on the people on organization who own the patents. And you can see in for the vaccine case as well, they say that okay, you don't need to follow the patent, and they're happy to for developing country and underdeveloped country to freely use that. I think it's all just depend on the policy mainly. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask Dr. Onsiri that about the infrastructure of Thailand that you mentioned, it might be need to support the API production in the future. Could you please explain me more about the infrastructure that you mentioned?
Yeah, the infrastructure, like it means like the things that support the manufacturing of that things, right, for the API and for other things, right? It could be like the policy, could be like the BOI that mentioned about something that that attract people to invest, or like the electricity. It should be the environment, for the R&D, could be the budget, could be the experts in that area. Yeah, it's everything that can help the business viable. Yeah. It's the infrastructure.
So I can add on some point
Yeah,
from
sure.
Dr. Anseli. I think the continuation of the support is very important.
Yes.
So after the pandemic, will there support for production of API in country, and the the consistency is very important here, because the now we see the trend that each country try to produce their API own is a health security. So the government had to look on that, and the researcher as well needs to continue us doing the this type of research. And also the pharma industry in Thailand also need to look at the API production at their choice and the future for survival in the very dynamic situation.
Yeah, but one more thing is that for the government policy that support the API, it should be like stable, like the stability of the policy. That's very important.
Yes, I agree that it's very important to continue us grow and continue our develop of the API production in Thailand. And could you please share us about the trend of API production in Thailand in the future? Do you have plan to produce more API after the COVID pandemic, because of the Fabi period might be the need is might be reduced? So after this wave of the COVID, do you have plan to produce more API in commercial scale?
Yeah, actually, we have the collaboration, like with PTT and biotech about for building the API plant. So in the meantime, PTT is studying the feasibility study, for building the API plant. So we now in the process of selecting the API candidates for producing in this plant. Yeah. So this plant will be used to produce the APIs to serve the need of the country. Like for example, antivirals or anti-cancer APIs. We have the candidate, but we have to select the candidates.
And also we still have the some research that's going on as well, especially for antiviral agents that the I think it's very important, not just from now, is the future. Who knows gonna be a next pandemic, or the resistance of the virus.
And can I ask Dr. Nitipun about the new technology or the next wave of API production in terms of you in the research field of the API synthesis? Could you please share us about the new technology that might be can apply for the API production in Thailand?
Right. As you mentioned, I believe the technology is very important. As I mentioned earlier on, the continuous flow chemistry is the I think will be the next wave for the API synthesis. If you imagine that we used to synthesize the compound batch by batch in the one reactor to another reactor, that take time and very difficult to have the automation production. But when you produce and synthesize the molecule using the continuous flows, it's like it can continuously synthesize. You don't need a large facility, but you just need the the appropriate system and chemistry working on that. One more thing is that we have been working, and our specialty in biotech is that using biotechnology to make the molecules. So at biotech, we look at the technology called synthetic biology. We use the living organism to produce the molecules, and we use the enzymes at the biocatalyst, to make the reaction. So the biocatalyst and the synthetic biology is very the future, but they cannot apply for every API, you know. There's just some specific API that they work really well. So they will be cleaner and cheaper, and even we don't need the import the raw material or starting material, because if we use synthetic biology, we adding glucose in there and they produce something that the chemical that we would like to have. I think that those technology that the we trying in at the biotech right now.
Yeah, I want to add more a bit about the flow chemistry. I mean, like for the main problem of API production in Thailand is that we lack of economy of scale. Yeah, and like we cannot compete the price. That normally the API that produced in Thailand like quite expensive than the APIs from China or India. And a solution to address this API price problem is to adopt the high technology like chemical flow reactor, this to increase the efficiency and can reduce the cost of production.
So it's very interesting, and the hope for API production in Thailand that we not only compete with the economy of scale, but we fight with the high technology to add more value about the production process. Right?
Okay, let's go to the question from our audience. Okay, there are so many questions.
I need to scroll down.
So how many questions do they have? Like,
okay, let's go to the first question and easy questions for Dr. Ansari. For the PTT, which part of the production or research that PTT gets involved?
Yeah, they get involved in the feasibility study, for API production plant right now, right? They're working on this part right now. Yeah.
Thank you. And is there any factories or pharmaceutical manufacturers allowed to produce favipiravir finished product in Thailand for now?
Yeah, I think for now, like I said that the patent now like it was rejected, right? So right now I think all company and in Thailand can like research and development and can produce favipiravir for now.
Okay, is there any questions that Khun Wanvisa would like to pick up?
Can I ask that how's about your opinion on the favipiravir efficacy to treat the mild and moderate patient? What is the latest update as per clinical trials?
I think the trial for favipiravir is not like very clear right now. So I think but what we learned from the small RCT or the suggestion is that starting favipiravir as soon as possible. The more you get to the medication, so it's prevent you for develop further severe symptoms for the favipiravir. And I think there's some questions about the in the future researcher have planned to develop API more for favipiravir. Yes, as we mentioned that we doing. And if you guys interesting, the audience, they would like to talk with us and they explore more opportunity, you can contact the organizers and they can arrange and they are back to us as well if you're interested in.
Okay, and all the chemical compounds for developing the API, we have to import it all?
Yes, Not some. Most
Some.
of them. Yeah, we import. But we can get from local manufacturer in Thailand.
If we compare the process, the production process on Thailand and worldwide, is there the same limitation step or different step in Thailand and worldwide?
You mean for API, for
in
normal
general.
API, for general API, right?
Yep.
It's quite similar, it's almost the same. It depends on, each API. Like for favipiravir and remdesivir, we adopt the flow chemistry, into the process. That might be different from any other.
Okay. How about this question? What about the cost to produce API in Thailand?
So it depends on API, Yeah, it depends. Yeah.
If we talk about the API of favipiravir, the cost in Thailand will cheaper or higher than we import it?
Yeah.
I think it's really depend on the economy of scale. And because we're not really sure how much we're gonna produce.
Yeah, and also the price of intermediate that we bought from we buy from China or India.
And the price of the foreign API is fluctuations. It's really depend on the need and the market.
Need of it, yeah, right.
I think the cost should be considered as one thing, but the securities must come first for this situation.
You're right.
Sometimes you have money, but you cannot
buy it.
We see that in the beginning of 2020. If you have lots of money, but you cannot buy it anyway.
Yeah, you're right. Back to the production process. How about the semi-synthetic from natural compound? Do you guys have plan to produce API from this compound? Semi-synthetic from natural.
Semi-synthetic. Actually, in GPO, we do have some semi-synthetic from natural compound, like the curcuminoid extract. Like curcuminoids, we synthesize the beta hydrocurcuminoids from curcuminoids. So that's the semi-synthetic compound. Yeah, and then we use it for our cosmetics products.
Okay, can I ask a question that there also have some news about molnupiravir? Could you please give any advice for the molnupiravir as well?
So molnupiravir is still in the trials from the MSD, and I think the what we have learned for news and the what the company announced that at first the trials in the hospitals and the non-hospitals patients, but for hospitalized patient trial, I think it's already stopped for a while. And they focus more on the outpatients, and even the latest trials they even use molnupiravir as a prevention drug. So they take the drug before to prevent you get for COVID-19, but they're all in the experiment. So you need to wait and see the published results. But I think it's a very promising one of the candidates.
Yeah, and I saw one question asking about the endocarditis.
What about the endocarditis?
The endocarditis, the endocarditis.
What do you think?
So Kendall can answer this question.
The question is, what do you think about the news saying that actually favipiravir cannot cure COVID? But who said that?
Nobody said that.
Nobody said that. And the endocarditis is even has less data than favipiravir. I would say we need to see, but the the availability of favipiravir is not just for all. People seeking for alternatives, and I would say alternative medicine is alternative. It's not the standard one. So you we didn't say that that a favipiravir can't, but endocapsuli can. No.
Okay. Do you have any idea to produce remdesivir by GPO?
You mean for the formulation or API?
Both, please.
Both, please. For formulation, maybe in the future, we will have the facility to produce remdesivir. Yeah, but for API, I think we have collaboration with biotech also. Yeah, to produce it. We were working on it.
Okay.
But you have to know that the capacity is very limited, facility as well. So the policy needs to be guide us which one that we need first and how much of that.
Can I ask question from the floor? Normally, local manufacturers have to conduct a lot of R&D work, including accelerate and long-term stability study. How about this case? Which step did GPO could skip since it took time shortly?
You mean like for the formulation or
I think it's all
or
maybe.
API? We didn't skip any, I have to look at the stability data, before going to the next step. Yeah, for API.
And even formulation, because I knew that the GPO started quite early, so
Right.
they didn't skip every.
Okay. What is it about? Could you please explain how the doctor treat COVID patient with favipiravir? Is it only one drug treatment? No.
No. So I would say that the medication for patients, they are for the antivirals and others supportive and anti-inflammatory drugs that separate the categories, but the patient, it depends on the stage of the patient as well. So they have the several medication, even endocapsuli. Right.
Okay, we have one in the Q&A box. Do you need to conduct BE study before distribute favipiravir tablets 200 milligram in the market?
Yes, exactly. It's past BE study.
Okay. Okay, is there any questions? It's quite long chat, How is the impurity profile of your favipiravir API?
Yeah, I mean, it meets the standard. Yeah. It meets the standard. I have the impurity profile that I check with my QA. Yeah.
Are you also studying ivermectin? Ivermectin to treat COVID? No.
Not yet.
Okay. Thank you so much for the questions, and it's really interesting to talk to you all. It's my pleasure to have three of you today. Okay, last but not least, Dr. Wanvisa, would you please share your perspective on API development in Thailand with us? Just like a closing remark.
I think after COVID pandemic, all country is focused and emphasize on the API production in the country to invest more about the API study, API development, and commercialization. And Thailand as well, the API development is included in the national policy and biocircular green economy policy, which both policy is support the API development and production in Thailand to serve the country and the secure health of Thailand. So today I would like to thank GPO and NASTA Biotech to share this very interesting experience about the favipiravir production in urgent situation of COVID pandemic in Thailand. So and I would like to thank all of the party that Thailand team to support this project because for the Thai people and Thailand as well. So today I would like to thank everyone, the audience, to share the interesting opinion about the API production in Thailand, and see you next time.
Okay. On behalf of CPhI Southeast Asia, I would like to thank you for your valuable time today. And the virtual exhibition will take place on November 29 to December 10. For more information about CPhI, please visit worldwideweb.cphi.com and see you online. Thank you so much, everyone. ขอบคุณค่ะ
Thank you.
So for more questions, I will try to wrap it and send you by email one more time. Okay, thank you. You all. See you. Bye bye.
เป็นไงบ้างendographies ได้ยินไหมเนี่ยปิดไปแล้ว endographies
ที่เขายังไลฟ์อยู่